So let's start with the top of the head. Just begin to notice the top of the head and feel any sensations up there. Maybe you notice your hair, or maybe you notice a draft that is moving about the room. It doesn't really matter, just begin to feel what you notice. And then we'll work our way down the body, moving our way down to the forehead. And at this point, you can just relax the eyes. Either find a nice spot in front of you where you can just kind of stare off into the distance, or let the eyes close gently if you feel comfortable doing so. As we move down to the forehead, just notice the muscles in the forehead. Notice if there's any tension. And then we'll move down to the cheeks, noticing the cheeks and jaw. Now, this area is really important, as a lot of people that are under pressure tend to clench their jaw. And as they clench their jaw, they tighten these muscles. And as you tighten those muscles, they become balled up and can become hard and create pain. So just notice any tension there as we continue to move down to the neck, letting the head sit on the back of the chair, or if you find yourself laying down today, just really feeling gravity as it pulls the head down and releasing tension in the neck, feeling the neck muscles become more limp and loose, and notice what other sensations you feel as we move down to the shoulders. The shoulders is another problem area for a lot of people. We tend to shrug or lift our shoulders in some way, or some people even protrude their head out kind of a little bit during times of stress or even just looking at your computer monitor. These tend to create tension in the shoulders that will then create pain if done enough. So really relax the shoulders, let them hang. Or if you're lying down, just really feel gravity as it pulls you down. And then we'll move down the arms, noticing the biceps, down to the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, and then the hands. Now, your hands in particular are special. Your hands have more receptors on them than almost any other part of the body, besides the lips. This means that you feel in greater detail at the tips of your fingers and along the hand. So right now, just rub your fingers together. Notice the sensations there. And as you rub them together, just notice how it feels differently from other parts of the body. So maybe switch it up. Move to the back of the hand. Feel the fingers, the knuckles. And just begin to notice how that changes when you move to different parts of the body. And you will probably notice how much more detail you can feel, because your fingertips can measure things like pressure, the sharpness of an object, how smooth an object is. They can notice how wet something is. And all of these receptors send that information to your brain. So it's important to really understand where these sensations come from and how the body kind of works with them. As we begin to move down the chest and back, just noticing the chest and back, beginning to relax those muscles as well, and begin to focus on the breath. As you take in a breath, notice how your lungs fill, how they fill with air, how they feel as the air comes in and cools them just a bit. And then notice what it feels like as you exhale. For most people, when we exhale, it feels good. That's because on our exhale, we stimulate a part of our nervous system called the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is in charge of rest and digestion responses. So, as you begin to notice the breath, notice how you're breathing as we move down to the stomach. Now, your breath should push out the stomach. As we inhale, muscles pull the lungs down, allowing our lungs to expand outward. But if you breathe up in your chest, you're constricted by your rib cage. And so for most people, you will never get a full breath. So you end up breathing quicker. And the quicker you breathe, the more it impacts your physiology, which we'll cover a little later in this course. But for now, just notice the breath and let it come through the stomach. As you inhale, feel the lungs pulling down, pushing the stomach out, and noticing how good it feels to let go of that breath. As we move down to the waist, just noticing the waist, down to the hips, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and then the feet. And as you get to the bottoms of the feet, notice where you have them placed or how you have them placed. Maybe they're sitting on the floor. Maybe you're even standing. Or maybe you're lying prone with your toes pointed toward the sky. Whatever the case, just notice the feet. And notice how when you focus on the feet, you completely forget about your fingertips. The fingertips, with all their receptors, are no match for where you are focusing. Now, this will become a very important topic as we move through the course. But really notice how your sensations change as your focus begins to change. For example, right now, you may have completely forgotten about that spot on your head that you felt just a moment ago. Isn't that interesting how focus impacts how we feel? And if it can change how you feel an object, how you feel your feet or fingertips, imagine what it can do for your mind. And if your focus impacts your mind as well, what does that mean for you in your life? So just begin to notice the body now in unison. Notice your blood. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the muscles as you let go of that tension. And now, if you have any tension left in your body, find a valve somewhere inside your body, a valve that you can turn and open a series of pipes that will allow any tension to just flood down and out the bottoms of your feet. Now, this may seem a little ridiculous at first, but we just talked about the power of focus. So if you can focus and try to see it in your mind, there will be some kind of physiological impact. So just focus on that valve and begin to turn it. Turn it, opening the gates, opening the pipes, releasing that tension, feeling it flood down and out the bottoms of the feet. Any negativity, any negative thoughts that you've had, or negative feelings, let those all flood down and out the bottoms of the feet. And it helps if you incite this with a deep breath, just feeling those valves open as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel all of the negativity flow down and out at the bottoms of your feet. And notice how much better you feel when you let go of all of that tension or negativity, and you just focus on the good feelings you may have right now. Focus on the good thoughts, the good sensations. And now we'll begin to move back up the body from the bottoms of the feet to the calves, the knees, the thighs, the hips, the waist, your stomach. Again, noticing the breath and if it's coming through, pushing the stomach out. Moving up to the chest, the shoulders, down the arms, to the tips of the fingers. Moving up to the neck, your chin and jaw, the forehead, and then the top of your head. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes if they're closed, and you can enjoy the rest of your day, taking with you this experience and any good feelings that you have. Think about this exercise throughout the day, and maybe even employ it in the mornings or even in the evenings as you prepare for sleep. But do this exercise. Practice it daily if possible. This is a skill. The more you use the techniques I will be teaching you today and over the next 7 weeks, the more you practice, the better you will get. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next week.